Hard to Start podcast. What's going on, y'all? We back with another fantasy football video, man. We for the 2025 fantasy football season. Today we talking about three must draft wide receivers that's gonna help you win your league 100%. These three wide receivers is about to eat in the 2025 fantasy football season, and if you draft them, your team gonna eat too. We gonna break down these three wide receivers and that will outplay their ADP and help you win your leagues. But before we do, you know what my saying is in fantasy. In fantasy, if you ain't got the heart to start, you ain't got the nuts of a champion. In life, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I'm here to help you get ready for your fantasy football homework for the 2025 fantasy football season. So let's get into it. Before we do, let's run the intro.
You have now access to complicated production.
First up, we got my dog, Jauan Jennings, man. Shout out to the home team, 100%, man. Coming in as the 24th wide receiver last year. Back end wide receiver 2, pause, 100%. Being drafted this year right now as the 90th player overall right now, 100%. You know what I mean? So he's highly attainable in this year's draft. You know what I mean? Let's get into it, bruh. You see it on the board right there, 113 targets. Let me get myself back on there. Pause. 77 receptions, 975 receiving yards, 25th at the position, 77 receptions, 20th at the position, yards at the catch, 238, 44th at the position with 6 total TDs and 14 fantasy points average. 100%. My dog wasn't playing. 248 slot snaps and 398 routes run. We're going to talk about his routes, the routes that he went and how many times he won them routes, 100%. But let's get into it, though, y'all. The steal of the draft. With Debo gone and Brandon Ayuk's status kind of murky for the beginning of the season, Jennings isn't just a sleeper. He's Purdy's new favorite target. Here's why he's a must draft. 81 vacated targets up for grabs from Debo. Elite usage, 26.3% target share, top 15 amongst all wide receivers, a 28.4 target rate, 11th best. A red zone target monster, 15 red zone targets with 8 receptions. On a high-powered offense, some of those targets could turn into touchdowns. Highly efficient, if we're going to call him efficiency king, 12.7 yards per catch, 14 fantasy points per game last year. A WR24 last year, but way higher this year. He's being drafted as a WR3, but he's got high-end wide receiver 2 upside, even if Ayuk plays 15 games this year, bruh. Even though we can't predict that, but, you know, we don't predict injuries, so we're going to say he play all 17. But I'm telling you, we see it on the board right there that with Ayuk being gone, it gave Jennings a whole opportunity to come in and show what he can do. He's a former 7th-round pick, 100%, not expected to do too much, then worked his way up to the team, and look what he did as a full-time starter last year. 77 receptions, 975 yards, 238 yards after the catch. One thing about the yards after the catch, even though that's not that high, and we're used to seeing a Debo and an Ayuk eat in the Yak game, but the offensive line was in complete shambles last year. We did see Brock Purdy looking like the boy Caleb Williams out there, you know, running around doing 360s, running for his life, still trying to make stuff shake, you know what I mean? But that was a bright spot that I got to see in Purdy's game for him to be able to extend plays, and we seen him extend plays to Jauan, man, 100%, you know what I mean? We seen Johnson make big plays last season, 100%. So with Debo being gone, we get, you know, we don't know what we're going to get out of CMC. If the Niners are smart, they'll use CMC more in the receiving game, which I don't think that's going to take away from Jauan's, him being in the pecking order of the targets, the way that the targets are going to get distributed 100%. You know what I mean? The top 3 is going to be Kittle, CMC, Jauan, man, and and Brandon Ayuk 100%, and and Jauan man out targeted the only wide receiver on the team or the only pass catcher on the team with 1,000 yards, and that was George Kittle 100%. You know what I mean? Let's get into his efficiency right here. Let's get off that right there. Pull back up on the screen. 8.6 yards per target, 39th at the position. 12.7 yards per reception, moving the ball downfield. Shout out to Purdy, 100%. Target separation, 1.39, 79th at the position. A dominator rating of 28%, 27th at the position. That's all targets intended towards him. Receiving yards, all that intended towards him on the team, 100%. Like I said, he was the number one targeted player on the team and second in receptions. Come on now. An explosive rating of 108.8. You know what I mean? That's 10 to 15 yards per explosive play. That's what he's doing. He's bringing that to the table, 100%. A highly explosive player. You know what I mean? So let's get it with Jauan Jennings, man. I'm telling you, do not sleep on, bruh. Then we're going to talk about them routes ran. Total route wins, 176. And then with the total routes ran, or total routes run was a 398. So that says it's a 48.5% route win rate. And that's 20th at the position, bruh. 100%. Jauan man is doing his thing, bruh. He is somebody that you want to have on your fantasy squad this year, bruh. Do not sleep on him. Back end wide receiver last year that has high end wide receiver to finish, bruh. 100%. Don't do it, man. Do yourself a favor, man. Listen to your boy, 100%. Go ahead and get you some Jauan man this year. Up. DJ Moore coming in with a WR16 finish last year, being drafted as the 42nd player overall, 100%, you know what I mean, highly attainable in this year's draft. We calling him the alpha that you sleeping on. Here's why he's alpha. 140 targets on the season last year, 26.6 target share, 13th at the position. His targets was 10th at the position, a 22% target rate, 189 slot snaps, 60th at the position, 636 routes ran, 4th at the position in his route precipitation, 1st at the position. Bruh is not coming off the field. He played all 17 games, 100%. That's the one thing he has done. In the last 3 years, 100% has played all 17 games, bruh. Facts. 98 receptions last year, 9th at the position. 966 receiving yards, 26 at the position. 588 yak yards, 3rd at the position. 6 total TDs with 14 fantasy points per game. Let's get it with DJ Moore, bruh. 100%. You're sleeping on the alpha that you're sleeping on. Keenan's 121 vacated targets. Is all of them going to DJ? I doubt it, but some of them will, and they'll be more accurate on time in this new system. And he's the undisputed number one wide receiver in this revamped Bears offense. Here's why he's a league winner. Target hog, 140 targets in 2024, top 10 among our wide receivers. Red zone and deep threat, 21 red zone targets, 20 deep targets. Yak Monster, a.k.a. Henny, man. Duce, 588 yards after the catch, 30 months wide receivers. Upgrade alert, Ben Johnson's offense plus improved O-line equals more big plays. DJ is locked in as a top 12 wide receiver, but his ADP doesn't reflect it. Do not overthink it and draft, bruh, 100%, man. Like I said, revamp O-line, bruh. You bring in Thuney, Jackson, and Dahlman. Jonah, I can't think of Brad's name from the Rams. You bring in Dahlman. You bring in Thuney. They just gave Thuney some money. You bring in a left tackle or a tackle during the draft, 100%. The 121 vacated targets from Keenan. Ooh, we watching two of myself. We can't do that, man. We don't like to see the double Guccini. But the 121 vacated targets that Keenan is walking out the door with Keenan, even though that we got Leveland and Burden in the first and second round. Them is rookies. You know, you still got DJ, you still got Rome, who both commanded 100 targets last year. They had 3 players that commanded 100 targets in that offense with Keenan, like I just said, and them other 2. So yeah, man, DJ's the alpha. Them 2 rookies, even if you give them 50 targets, you still got 121, or you still got 21 that's still available, and that ain't that much. But still, though, you know, with 3 players commanding over 100 targets in an offense that was, you know, highly unreliable, like I said about Brock Purdy. Caleb was doing the same thing, running for his life, still trying to make plays, extend plays, trying to make stuff shake, you know what I mean? And now we get Ben Johnson in here with the revamped O-line. We're going to get a more cohesiveness to this offense. It's going to be slowed down. It's going to be a lot more on time. And I think DJ is going to be one of the benefactors, man, of this offense. We see what he's done with Justin Fields in this offense. We seen what he did with Caleb in this offense as the wide receiver 16, bruh. If it get a little bit more efficient, dial more back, more on schedule, you know what I mean? Better blocking up front, better run game. If you haven't got a chance to see my 3 must draft running backs, you might want to do so. Excuse me. We talking about DeAndre Swift. So yeah, man, I'm high on this. I'm high relaxing on this Chicago Bears offense. You know what I mean? If you do watch some of the content, or are you friendly with the content around here around the Heart to Start, you know what I mean about relaxation. But yeah, man, do yourself a favor. Do not overthink it. If DJ Moore is going at the 43rd overall player, bro, everybody in your league got a chance to draft him. Don't let nobody else draft him, bro. 100%. Make sure you snatch him up. You know what I mean? 100%, bro. You know, that's what's that middle of the 3rd round to go ahead and get you somebody that got wide receiver 1 potential. If you already going with the 0 RB, you know what I mean? You 2 wide receivers and a tight end, you know what I mean? However you want to do it, bro. 100%. But don't sleep on DJ this year. Last but not least, man, the rookie is already a star, man. The boy Ladd McConkey, man, 100%. You see him coming in as the WR12 last year, being drafted right now as the 23rd overall player. That shout out to Draft Sharks and the underdog ADP data, 100%. They are not sponsors of the show, but, you know, that's where I go and get my research from, 100%. You know what I mean? The boy Ladd went crazy, though, last year. 112 targets, 473 slot snaps, 448 routes ran, 396 yards after the catch, 1,149 receiving yards, and 82 receptions with 7 total TDs and 15.1 fantasy points average. 100% as a rookie, man. Let's get into what the boy Ladd was doing. As a rookie, Ladd finished as the WR12. Now he's the clear number 1 in a Justin Herbert-led offense. Why he is a value pick, man. The bruh is a target magnet. 112 targets, 23rd among wide receivers on a 24.5% target share. Super efficient, 10.3 yards per target, 8th at best. 14 yards per reception. Super dominant in the slot. 6 in slots. Herbert's safety blanket for sure. Ain't no competition over there. Next closest Chargers wide receiver had 91 targets, and that was Quentin Johnson. Even with Trey Harris joining the team, Ladd's role is still locked in. And draft him as a high-end wide receiver 2 and profit, bruh, 100%. With him finishing as a back-end wide receiver 1 in his rookie season, with the numbers that he put up, 112 targets, 473 slot snaps, a.k.a. the safety blanket, 100%, bruh. 448 routes ran, with total routes win 191. That was 23rd at the position on a 48.2% route win rate, 22nd at the position, especially coming out of the slot, 100% eating, bruh. Now we bring in Trey Harris, rookie second round pick, which, you know, the expectation shouldn't be too high on him, but ain't no telling if he gonna shatter expectations or not. But other than that, you don't got nobody else over there. We seen where it said Quentin Johnson was the next up in targets with 91. Then you had Josh Palmer's 65 vacated targets gone, and then Will Dissly's 64 targets. Those were the top 4 target getters in the offense last year. So what that mean? Ladd's position ain't going nowhere. 100%. You bring in Conklin. You draft a Rondé Gatson, bro. Look, man, Ladd's numbers is locked in 100%. Let's pull up his efficiency, and boom. Dominator rating 31.6, juke rating 18.3%, explosive rating 113.9, 14th at the position, man. Yards per target 10.3, yards per reception 14 yards per reception, bruh. There it is, there, man. Do yourself a favor, man. Do not let your league mates draft Ladd McConkey. 100% being drafted as the 23rd overall player. So at the back end of the second round, if you do have action at him, man, make sure you get him, bro. 100%, man. And with closing, man, make sure y'all likes, comment, and subscribe if you felt like you got something up out of this video, man. These is 3 wide receivers prime for huge seasons, man. And make sure you let me know in your comments who are you targeting at the wide receiver position in the 2025 draft, man. 100%, man. Y'all know what my saying is. In fantasy, if you ain't got the heart to start, you ain't got the nuts of a champion in life. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I'm here to help y'all get ready with this fantasy football homework, man. Until next time, man, we gone.